This podcast is a quest for well-being, a quest for a meaningful life through the exploration of fundamental truth. Enlightening ideas, insights on physical, mental, and spiritual health. The inspiration is love. The aspiration is to awaken new ways of thinking that can lead us to a new way of being well. Welcome to Body, Mind, and Soul Healing Conversations.
Christhood means the attainment of Christ consciousness. Christ consciousness is not about Christianity, but rather a natural spiritual evolvement of human consciousness, the awakening of a sense of unity with life in its many forms, and oneness between the human and the divine. Christ consciousness is the acknowledgement that life is love, not the egocentric love born of our human nature, but the all-loving, all-knowing, and all-powerful love of our divine nature. Once we reach this understanding and exemplify it in our daily life, we live in Christ consciousness. Valeria interviews Jocelyne Ranucci. She is the author of From Childhood to Christhood, a journey into universal divine consciousness. Born in Paris, Renucci set out on her own while still in her teens. Her work and travels took her to New York City and Mexico, and finally to Sag Harbor, New York, where she found her home and herself. A successful businesswoman, she is presently at work on her second book, which will show her readers how she has put the lessons she has learned into practical use in everyday life and how they can do it too. Meet Jocelyn at jrenucci.com. Here's the interview with Jocelyne Ranucci.
In your own words, who is Jocelyne Ranucci?
Well, I thought about that because I knew you were going to ask me this question. And, I never ask myself, who am I really like that, because as a human, I am nobody special. I'm like you. I'm like everybody. I'm here and I'm trying to find my way through life and try to get to be the best person I can be. And that's it, that's all I am. And then, of course, on a spiritual level, I might be somebody, different. But as far as me, my personality, I'm just a human finding my way through life and trying to do my best. And sometimes I do and sometimes I don't,
Yes. I love that. It's very simple, very humble, and very natural to say what you just said. And I absolutely agree. A lot of times has been my case, we go deeper into spirituality and trying to find what the truth is, universal truth, the ultimate truth, the absolute truth. And who knows, maybe we came across that and we do know what that is, but we still have to bring it integrate that truth into our human experience. And that's why I love that answer that you just gave.
Yes. And, that's why I wrote the book, honestly, exactly for that, because every spiritual journey you may take has to be integrated within you here on earth, because that's where we are right now, and so the bridge between spirituality and humanity, or, for lack of a better word, is what is important, I think.
Yes, yes, yeah, it's exactly that. And then I'm listening to you about, in myself, what I just said about integration. That is very much true, but at the same time, I do feel like the integration, it's very abstract in a way, because it seems like we are what the awareness of the experience we are having. So it's almost like it's not really integrated, cannot be integrated, because it's just noticing the experiences, which means we are not the experience, right, Jocelyn, in a way?
Well, yes, we are. We have to live the experience. It's like for me, your belief, you have to absorb them, digest them, and become them. So you have to live what your beliefs are, and that's your truth. And your truth today might not be the same tomorrow, but on the moment, that's who you are, and that's you need to absorb it and become it. If not, it's not really within you. So for me, yes, there is some way an integration.
Maybe it's just a matter of words, language.
Yes,
but
maybe.
Yeah,
yes.
Maybe what I see is that there is what notices the experiences, and I know that that's what I am. And then there is also the engagement with the experience, but not the attachment to it. I guess that's the closest I can get to it. I know you had an experience in your book. You mentioned, I think it was an aunt of yours that passed away, and the suffering. I never lost anyone. I lost my ex-husband, but he was already far from me. We are not together anymore. But I do feel like there's something about suffering and the attachment to pain. So as long as we are not attached to pain, we can engage in a sense of feeling all feelings, but not losing ourselves in a sense.
Talking about my aunt, I love my aunt very much, but by the time she died, I already believe in reincarnation. I had some experience with death, and, I was not fearful of death, and, I knew she was going somewhere else or whatever. Yet I was surprised by the deep sorrow that I felt, and sometimes it's because also it's a projection of you. It's like somebody you love die, and you feel that you lose part of yourself in some way, but you don't. So the important thing is that emotions are good, and if you feel the pain or the sadness, is okay. You feel it, you live it, and then you let it go. You let it go. So as you said, don't get attached to it.
Right, yeah. So it seems to me that there's a difference that it can be observed between attachment and engagement. Engagement's feeling the feelings, right, going with the motions, because we can't really stop that flow.
No, right? And it's okay because we are being, we live through our senses, so it's okay that we feel sad,
Yes.
But then we move on.
Yes. So since we already mentioned, I know I didn't mention the book title, and this will be in the introduction, but I'll ask you this open question already, Jocelyn. Why did you become a writer, one, and what was the main inspiration to write the book From Childhood to Christhood, a journey into universal divine consciousness?
All right. Well, I always loved to write. When I was a little girl, I used to write poems. I always loved to write. So, but I never thought I'd become a writer per se. And also, I was not very good at expressing myself verbally, but I always could express myself very well in writing. So it was always a love that I had. Now, for the book, when I started my spiritual journey, and I went through many experiences, and of course I read books, by spiritual teacher. I did, like everybody else, you have to find the information somewhere, sometime. But what I was feeling is many times the information came from a spiritual person that live in some mountain in Tibet or in India, or some other book were very, was a doctor, but I felt I want to tell the story of a regular person. I lived everything I write in my book. I don't write it because I heard it somewhere. It's because I experience it within myself. And that was my goal, to tell people that it was possible, to take that journey. And it's a difficult journey, but it's a beautiful journey. And it's available and for everybody. If I could do it, Everybody can do it. And that was really my main goal.
Yes. Can you give us just a small glimpse? Of course, we don't want to know the entire story. They won't buy the book. What was that moment where you knew that you're having this, let's say, spiritual experience in the sense of evolution, kind of getting this a glimpse into something that you had not experienced before? When did that become a reality in your life, Jocelyn?
Well, I would not say it's a moment.
Right.
I would say it's an escalation, It's like, how can I say that? The thing is, you have to go within and start to know yourself and see yourself to try to get to your own reality and your true self. And so that is a journey. So there is not a moment. It's one step after the other, and then, it's like your life become bigger, you become bigger and better, and it happens. It's something that happens, but it's not in a moment, and it never ends. It still continues. The journey still continues. So there is not an exact moment I can tell you when I'm like, there are many moments, but not one. For instance, I know I speak of forgiveness in the book. And is what I say, forgiveness is easy for some people and for others not so much. And, for me, it was not so easy. But I work on forgiveness. And, there was people that I was resenting, And so, but I work to release all of that, And one day you realize that it's gone, but you don't know when it happened, and say, I don't feel that anymore. And that's just a simple example. But for me, that's the way it was. Like, you work on something and then all of a sudden it's gone, and you don't know, you don't have that fear or whatever it is that, a blockage you may have to evolve. And so it's like that. It's step by step. And then it just happened. You don't know how, but it just is there or not there, whatever it is, And it's a beautiful thing, really. It's a beautiful thing.
So it's almost like, let's say, life itself, isn't it, Jocelyn, where we just appear here and then all of a sudden we become aware that we are in the body, and then there's the mind, the thoughts, the emotions. And then we kind of observe the evolution of that. And it's interesting that you're very much right. It just happens. It's not really something that we are kind of planning, kind of calculating or trying to make it happen. It just happens. So true.
Well, if you work at it.
I have to work on it, become, right, aware. So true.
You have to work at it a little bit.
For sure. So that first step, Jocelyn, would you say that's longing, this desire to know the truth? That's the first step to become aware even of the change and the happenings?
Well, yes. I think the first step is like asking a question. You have to ask the question, and depending on your circumstances, everybody's first step is different because we're all different and we all at a different level of our journey. So there is not one first step for everybody. But, for me, the first step was, in a way I rebelled. And I'm like, that cannot be me. That cannot be my life. There is something else, because no matter what happened, I had this strength within me that would say, no, that's not it. That's not it. Until I find something that resonated with me and I made a sharp turn to go in another direction. So something has to trigger it, I think.
Yes.
I think, something has to trigger the search, I would imagine. But also, none of us start at the same place, so there is not one thing. But I think, it's important to question, not just, sometimes you just take life for boom, 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 what it is, and you don't question anything. I question everything.
Yes.
Even when I was very young,
Yes.
I question.
That's what intelligence is. It's self-aware, so it's always very curious about itself and what it experiences. So that, it has been also my journey throughout this, which we call life, questioning everything. But a lot of times having to kind of settle with some answers that they are not satisfactory, but I had to settle with them.
Why would you want to settle with something that's not satisfactory?
Yeah, I guess what comes to mind right now is the idea of karma. And that, I love the way you talk in the book too. I actually have here about the present moment. We can access the past and the future. Everything's here. Whatever is happening here, it is very much the illumination. It is showing us the past and the future. I guess the problem with that, the karma for me, is that then we have to accept the idea of the beginning of that. It's almost like, when was the first mistake we made? It doesn't make sense, because if something started, it started pure. And there was no way that could make a mistake. So it's just not possible, because it was complete, it was whole. So that doesn't make sense to me about the idea of karma, the origination of karma. But I do understand that picking up in the middle of it, like being born here and then, in this reality, oh, okay, the reason why I was born in this family is because I probably did this. You see, that's what I did for many years. I had to do that because of the suffering that I went through as a child without not deserving what I went through from my perspective at that point.
The thing with karma, I became a bit ambivalent about karma, because I think for human, it's good to have the idea of karma, because sometimes human, they need to be put in a box a little bit. If you're not good, it's going to come back for you.
Yes, yeah, that makes sense.
And so you have that karma with that person, so now she's going to be born and be your daughter and make you crazy, and it's okay. But now, I'm thinking, and that's just me thinking, I have no proof for anything. Actually, is one thing is like, the more I know, the less I know, really, because we don't know anything. We just know what we feel at the moment. That's it. But I'm thinking that karma, is more about vibration, because if you go from the principle that everything is energy that vibrates at a different rate, right? Let's say that, somebody that has very low energy, somebody that is not very evolved, or a criminal, his vibration, I would imagine, are lower than maybe the Dalai Lama or somebody else. I think karma is that. It's just every lifetime, if you want to believe in reincarnation, I tend to believe in reincarnation. Is it true? Is it not true? I don't know, but I chose to believe. And every life you are giving the opportunity to raise in consciousness, to raise in awareness, and to evolve. And so, again, that's just me talking. I don't know if it's true or not. So when you die and you are at a certain vibration. And so I think karma is that you're going to come back at the same vibration, So then you left your life, So is it you're going to be associated with the people that resonate like you? And so I think that's, in a sense, that's karma. But again, I might be completely wrong. I don't know. Do I make any sense to you, what I'm saying?
Yes, it does, yeah. I have done a lot of studies with Vedanta, Advaita Vedanta. That's, you're probably familiar, it's a Hindu philosophy, religion. Yeah, that's how they explain. Yeah, it's a suggestion, really, it is suggested that the mind, the residues of the mind will continue on. And yeah, it might be, you might translate into energy, right? As you said. So in energy is always trying to match. It's kind of
Yes,
looking for
that's what
match.
exactly.
Yeah, that makes
Again,
sense.
I don't know for sure, but I feel that's more, it's closest to what karma is than, you come back punished in a way, because there is that sense you're going to be punished, and if you have bad karma, but also there is good karma, you can have good karma. So let's go for good karma.
Yes, thank God for good karma. So we have pain and we have pleasure, both of them in one lifetime. Yes, that makes a lot of sense to me. Another question I usually ask, which I do a lot of studies and I listen a lot, is that all the work that we do here to come to the understanding, the realization really that we are whole, complete, there's nothing missing, that we are, let's say, how the name of my company is Fit for Joy for a reason, because that's how I realized that I was so depressed at that time. That was the message that came to me all of a sudden. You are fit for joy already. Like exactly
Yes.
where you are, the way you are now. You don't need to do anything. That's when everything opened up. Like, oh my God, so true. Seems to me if we had many lifetimes, then there's a lot of bad karma there too. So how many lifetimes will it take to kind of go through all these matching energy, those vibrations that's still within the content of the mind? But the question is, perhaps by realizing here now that we are complete, whole, that we are consciousness itself, pure consciousness, will that change everything when we lose the body and then now and then we're free? That's what comes to me. It's almost a sense of freedom. No need for reincarnation anymore, in a sense.
When I started my journey, my life was so difficult. Really, the cards given to me were not that great, and I was really in pain, and life was really hard for me. And so, I thought, oh la la, I'm going to get spiritual and get to a point where for sure I never have to come back.
Yeah, right, right.
That was the idea. Oh, I don't ever want to come back to this life. But now, 20 years later, I mean, many years later, but, almost 20 years since I finished this first book, I changed because I was able to find peace and joy, right here on earth. And I'm thinking, maybe the goal is not so much to move on to another space, but maybe the goal is to appreciate and to be fulfilled right here on earth. And then that doesn't mean that I don't know what happened. Maybe after we go to other dimension and it's all great and all of that. But I think life on earth is actually a gift once we are able to make it that, And I'm not there 100%, don't take me wrong, but, I feel sometimes so much joy. And so it's almost overwhelming. And I'm thinking, maybe that's the goal. Not so much to get to a point where we never have to be here, but to be here and really be here and feel all the joy. And that doesn't mean that, we're still on earth, so there is problem here and there, but to feel that connection and that joy and, that hope, that beauty, really,
Yes, Jocelyn. Yeah, I'm listening to you. And if God exists, as somebody said, it has to be here. It needs to be something that can be felt, can be seen even. And then I remember was a Hindu monk, Swami. Somebody asked him, like, have you seen God? And then he said, yes, I have seen God, just more clear than I see you. So that kind of, it stopped me when I heard that. So it's almost like being able to see God everywhere, but clearly in a sense of loving everything.
Yes, that's a beautiful word, to love everything, to feel God everywhere, but how do you get to that? That's the thing. How do you get to be that being that really, really, I'm not there, I'm telling you that right away, that really feel like, you walk in the wood and you feel the trees that are part of you. You know what I'm saying? That is where we want to be. That's where we're going there. But, many times it's beautiful, the world, the spiritual worlds, but how you have to, you have to get there, you have to be it, you have to process it, digest it, and become it. And for me, that's the journey.
Yes, yes. That is so true. It's because it sounds very abstract in a way. Yeah. When I just said that about seeing God everywhere. And also, it's really the realization that everything is divine. So that it doesn't mean that, like, in a sense, my practice is exactly that, Jocelyn, is to see, to meet everything as myself, as the divine that I feel in me, I feel everywhere. And it's really, it has become a reality for me, but it doesn't mean that I like everything. There's no, of course, the behavior, especially that comes from the mind, in my own mind, it's something that I don't like. There's no love there in us. There's love for the divine that is, like, how can I explain that? It's basically the mind's happening in love. So once you recognize that everything is happening in God, in consciousness, in love, then it's so much easier kind of always return to it. Because even if when you don't like something, like now when I don't like something, a behavior from somebody, like this war that's happening between Ukraine and Russia, the violence that, I don't watch TV or anything like that, so I'm not really in contact with those things, but I do see the behavior from my husband, or not my dog. My dog's great, I have to say. It's always ready for love. I love him all the time. My husband, I don't know about that. So there's a lot of behaviors that I don't like. But there's love is still there. I'm always in touch with love. It's easy to go back to it. Like, I don't like his behavior, and then I go and give him a hug. Like, it never happened at all what happened. What I didn't like in the moment, and the next moment is like I forget everything, done and forgotten. I don't know if that's what we're supposed to be, or the practice, the journey it's about, but that's my experience. It has been a lot of fun, though, I have to say.
Yes, well, I understand very well what you're saying, and that's beautiful that you can live, there in that consciousness. Is beautiful. It's a sort of detachment.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I remember at the beginning when I was doing my journey, and I forgot where, doesn't matter where, I got this image, that your body is full of oil,
yes,
right?
Yeah.
And the water doesn't stick, you run away from your body, right?
Yeah.
And so when I was trying to understand that detachment, like, don't get stuck, like this person just says something that upsets you and then it gets stuck to you, I always felt, I'm going to put oil all over and that thing is going full of me, and so then, at one point when you reach where you are now, that's exactly what happened. You accept the people for who they are. I mean, that doesn't mean that, they have the right to mistreat you or anything like that. That's not what I mean. But okay, something happened. And you may have felt, it's okay if you felt upset or I don't really like that. I mean, you have those feelings. But then you are detached from it. It doesn't get stuck on you.
Right, yes.
Like the water on your oily body. It just goes away and you turn and you forgot about it.
Yes.
I mean, I remember sometimes people that, I think this person that gravitated me, or we had something, I can't remember. I just can't remember at all. So it's not only the negative feeling goes away, but the memory of it is gone. It's detachment. And that's a beautiful thing that you have reached. It's a beautiful consciousness,
Yes, right. I have to say that it is a place that, of course, as you said before, it takes practice, right, Jocelyn? It takes effort. I have been working on it.
Exactly. You want to get there. Everything, you have to see it and you want to change it, and then it, you work at it, and then one day it is. It's like we said at the beginning. One day I don't have a grudge. I look outside and I find everything beautiful. Well, you know what I'm saying? Then it becomes you, for lack of a better word. You know, you become your belief.
Yes, right. That's exactly it. If it is a belief, right? I call it realization, but yeah.
Realization. As I say, you know, it's like sometimes the world are not, and particularly between a Brazilian and a French.
Yeah. Yes, right.
We're doing our best.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Let me make this comment here about your book. I mentioned off record, you wrote the book in 2007, and it is as relevant today as it was then, even more relevant today, perhaps. But the question that I have for you is, what insights have you gained, new insights have you gained into the world of consciousness, of spiritual journey, and everything that we are talking about now, Jocelyn?
The journey never ended. And now, I mean, actually, you know, it's funny you asking that, because I'm writing my second book. I kind of got delayed with life with that. And I was writing about something, but I was not really happy, and, you know, it did not feel right. And then I realized that what I wanted to write now, it's actually the same book, but from my eyes, my feeling, and who I am today. And so, you know, the message remain the same. It's always the same message wherever you go. But the way to look at it, the way to feel it, the way I have experienced it throughout, you know, those 16 years is different, you know? That's what I'm doing now. What I changed within me is this incredible feeling of love, joy, and beauty. Not always, you know, sometimes I'm sick, sometimes I don't feel well, not always, but sometimes I now am able to feel an exaltation almost, you know, and I just love it. I just love to be alive today. I just love everything in my life. And that's what changed, you know, not every day I discover new thing, and God knows right now, the world being as it is and everything speeding up and everything happening, it's kind of exciting and scary at the same time, but it's, you know, we live a very exciting time, which, you know, at some level, it's a bit disappointing that, you know, I was hoping we would be in a better place, but here we are. So that's what I think, you know, I'm excited to be alive now. And before you know, I wasn't. That is not to say that everything is perfect in my life, certainly not. But in my heart, I feel good.
I love to hear that.
And I wish that for everybody to be able to feel that, you know, and that's why I wrote the first book, is like, you know, you can feel, you have the power in you. You just have to do it, to work on yourself, but you have that power. And that's what I want to tell people, you know.
It's a beautiful message. Yeah. Thank you for that, Jocelyn. We do need to hear that message over and over again, to be reminded of, really.
Yes, because you are not a martyr of circumstances. You created those circumstances. You have the power to get out of them and transcend into something better. Now, you know, I think we're going, as a human race, I think we're going to get there. I don't know when, but I still hope we're going to get there. We have to keep the vision. Very important to keep the vision. And I feel very hopeful. You know, I look at YouTube and I see all those messages and all those people talking about it at all levels, you know, and a better world and become a better person. And, you know, it's good, I think. It's not enough now, but it's good. It's going in the right direction. I'm very excited, because now I learned that that science has now can prove certain things that we believe, you know, in our metaphysical. Is like, you know, metaphysics is joining with physics. And I think that's very, very exciting. People talking about energy, the oneness, the field. So I think that's another world that's opening up for us. And it's we'll see what happens. It's still in the end of each human being. It's still that's in the end, that's what it is. What each of us are going to do. So we'll see what happens.
Yes, and that's interesting that what science is finding out now about this, let's say, this unity of consciousness, the ground of existence being one, it has been discovered by the Hindus thousands of years ago, which is way before science in a way.
Yes. But, for us, it's like, if they can prove it scientifically, that's exciting.
Yes, right.
I find it very exciting. And it validates all those beliefs,
Yes, absolutely. And for some reason, I don't go to science to validate that belief or that realization that there's one ground of consciousness, just one essence for everything. I try not to do that because now it's almost regressing for me, like going through the material matter first, analyzing through matter to get to... You understand, Jocelyn? So
for you.
Yes, for me, right.
I understand for you, and for people at a certain level of awareness, they don't need that. But a lot of people do.
Yes.
And that's what's exciting.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Because a lot of people, they believe in science.
Yes, they believe in matter, right? Matter first.
Exactly.
Yeah, before consciousness.
So, I think it's wonderful in a way that they say, but, oneness, but we can show you oneness, look, and then it becomes real for them, I don't know. I'm just thinking. I think it's exciting.
No, it is, Jocelyn. Absolutely. From that perspective, for sure. And I know there are a lot more people who believed, because it's kind of the obvious in a way for most people, for most of us, kind of to believe in what we see. And because it's so solid, the body seems to be, everything seems to be so concrete, right? And solid, we believe it's real. Or actually it is real, but it's not the whole reality. There's a reality to material things. So we are not going deeper. We kind of stop at material things that matter. And that's what is, it was limiting for most of us. It's just stopping at matter. Oh, that's all there is. I'll die and then that's it. Most of the atheists, that's what they believe. And materialists, of course. So it is an exciting time if science can prove that the ground of existence is one for everything, and it's abstract, it's the invisible. It's invisible, but it's what holds everything together.
Yes. I mean, I think it's wonderful, honestly. I really do. I think it will be very helpful, but nobody really knows about that, it's not really out there, but it will eventually.
Yes.
It will.
Yes. Are you writing, actually, your next book will be about the science of spirituality, or
no.
We'll talk about, that'll be interesting.
No, because I only like to write things that I experience and things that I know. I know nothing about science and all of that. I just, I only know what I hear, and I think it's exciting, right. But I could not write about it because it's not, as I say, I only write from my own experience.
Yes, right, of course. Fair enough. When you see your experience into the Christ consciousness, it's already actually what scientists are trying to get at with all the studies, and probably 500 years from now, they will get to, you already know that. You already have realized, which is interesting how by studying our own reality, we ended up discovering the reality of everything, of the universe.
I agree with you. We don't need science to get to that realization.
Right.
We don't need it, for sure. But I think, it's helpful for many people.
Yes.
If it does, they still have to do the trip within themselves. That doesn't change. That journey within, for me, anyway, I think whatever, you still need to do the journey within.
Yes, absolutely. And perhaps what you speak of quantum physics and all that, metaphysics and energy, medicine, all that might get into the minds, the logical minds of those people that you speak of, that, which are most of them, and they might become more open to the exploration of their own selves, of their own reality, their own being.
Yes.
That's beautiful. Yeah, that would be a beautiful experience.
That would be, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's already happening for sure, but at a very slow pace still. And I do see what you see on YouTube. We have all these videos there about the same topic. So we are getting there.
Yes, little by little, sometimes I hear about people that their goal is to create an awareness and it's good. Everything is good. My only concern is not a concern, but, the only thing I think is that sometimes, people, they may get attached to the message, and attached to the messenger. And so they go from one retreat, let's call it a retreat, to another, or one teacher to another. And so it's good because every time they learn something. But in the process, sometimes I think they might forget to do the work.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
So true.
First of all, you need to be very careful and not believe everything you hear. You need to
right.
only take in what resonates with you, because not everybody is telling you the right thing, and what might be right for one person might not be right for another. So in the end of the day, your spirit, yourself, whatever you want to call it, is your better teacher, because you will, from within, you will only get the right information for you always, because I will tell you that at the beginning of my journey, when I was, learning and reading books and doing all of that to try to understand, to find my way, sometimes I would read things from a spiritual leader or whatever that disturbed me, because they did not resonate with me. And instead of helping me advance, they created a blockage, because they created like a duality almost, because I wanted to believe, but I'm like, no, that's not right, So you have to really discern what all that information, not all the information is good or is good for you. It might be good in general, but not good for you. So I strongly believe, and I might be wrong, but I strongly believe that in the end of the day, the journey is from within, and the teacher is the information, and everything already resides within you. And you just need to go there and let it come out.
Yeah. Would you say that Christ consciousness resonates with everything that we have been talking about? This one ground of reality, one reality, essentially, Jocelyn?
Yeah, I mean, I would think that Christ consciousness is a consciousness, I mean, I'm not there, but is a consciousness of oneness, when you become one with everything, and then I don't know what happened.
And it doesn't change, right? Seems like it stays the same.
But
it doesn't change.
It's that consciousness of love, but not love like the way we see it, like, oh, I love you. No, it's a all unfolding love, it's an energy really. And sometimes you can feel it, but I don't know, people are different, but me, sometimes I can feel it like just for a moment, because I don't think I could really live on Earth like that, it would be weird maybe. I explained something in the book about that. So many years ago, every Saturday, I live in Mexico at the time, and I would walk far away on the rock, and I had this big rock by the sea, in the middle of the sea, and I would walk there and sit there and meditate.
Yeah.
And at the time, I wanted to be a better person. And I say, oh, I am like Christ. I kept saying that like a mantra,
right. Yeah.
But when I said Christ in my mind, I was thinking Jesus, And so like a mantra, I was saying, oh, I am like Christ. I'm like Christ. I'm like Christ, which of course I wasn't. But I was saying it, and there I was on my rock, the water coming all around me and all of that. I'm like Christ, I'm like Christ. And all of a sudden, I got this incredible surge of energy within me. And it said, that energy said to me, no, you are not like Christ. You are Christ. And that was almost too much of a message for me at the time, because well, that's crazy, But after, of course, I learned and all of that. And I think, that's what it is. We are all like Christ. We have that energy within us. We have that divinity within us. We are Christ. But it's kind of buried.
Yeah.
And
how many of us really know that, right? Yeah, we don't know that.
Christ is like buried with our personality, our ego, our this, our that, name it, our karma, if you want. And so, that's what we need to do. We need to clean up and go and find that Christ within us. And then that is Christhood.
Yes. Wow. That's beautiful the way you say, and it resonates very true to me. Yes. That's it. How many, you are God, but how many of us know that? And if we don't know, that's it, right? We are not expressing, manifesting God because we don't know that we are.
Well, it's very difficult. I told you when, I almost fell off the rock because what do you mean?
Yes.
It's like you look at life, you look at people, you look at behavior, and you say, oh, God is live within you, and you go, really? And the thing is, for you, even to accept it for you is very hard. It's not easy. But that's the goal, to understand that. And that doesn't mean you're going to be walking on water or anything like that, but you're going to you're going to have that joy and that resonance within your heart, and that's really beautiful.
Yes. You see, when you talk about love, that you talked earlier about oneness and then love, not the human love, but the all-inclusive love. That resonates true because what is love? If God's love then includes everything, the human experience, all the things that we like, the things we don't, everything's included. There's nothing that's excluded. So that would be love, right?
It's a love without any judgment.
Yes.
And that's very difficult to get to. Honestly, if we want to be honest with ourselves, that's very hard. But that's what it is, really.
Yes. And also because we confuse, again, love with likes, the like and the love. Love, it's unconditional, really. There's no conditions. Everything's included. Everything's fine. It's just the most freeing spaceless space to live in. But then there's a part of the human experience, the things that we don't like, as I said before. So that the problem is that most people, they confused. They kind of try to make the human experience this perfect manifestation of what it is, but it cannot be because love or God includes everything that's happening is in God, is in love. So that's how, for me, has become very clear.
But it's difficult. Difficult.
Yes.
It's very difficult.
From the perspective of the mind, yes, Jocelyn. Yeah, from the mind, yes.
Yeah, for sure. And that's why sometimes, people come out with the truth, oh, we are all one, we all love each other. It's beautiful to say that, but it's what I say, how do you get there? You know what I'm saying? It's like, that's a journey. That's a journey to do it like for you. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
For you, because sometimes it's easier to express that for another person, but you have to love yourself. All of that has to be you, because this is all, in the end, that's what matters is you. Everything goes back to you. So it's not easy to be, you have to be honest. It's hard. It's a difficult thing, but in the end, it's the more you advance, the more you free yourself of the old belief of that society gave you, or your family, or whatever, past life, whatever you want to say, and you clean up, and then you feel lighter and lighter and lighter, and sometimes you think, oh, I'm very light, it's very good, and then something happened, oh my God.
Yeah, you get pulled back again, right?
I'm not there yet. So, it's exciting, really. It's exciting. It's not always easy, but it's exciting.
Yes, it is. When you say it's not easy to express. It's because we are looking for experience. That's what I hear also from you. And I have done that, looking for the experience of perfection in this reality. And that's when I got myself in trouble, because a lot of trouble, by trying to always, meditate so I could be in that place of peace and stay there. I wanted to stay there and never leave. And then I just realized that God consciousness is not an experience. That's where, once we understand that God's not an experience, it can be reflected or manifested through the experience, but it's still not God. Sounds like a paradox, but it's not. It's almost like a dream, from what I understand now, Jocelyn, that when we are dreaming at night, it feels like everything's happening, the multiplicity, all these things are happening. And these people that we are talking to, the cities and I'm walking place, doing all these things. But in the end, when we wake up, we just realize that everything was created by the mind. Essentially, everything was the mind itself. It was one thing, one field, one mind creating all these experiences that we thought we had. And that's what it is to me. It feels like, it is. It's a dream. So it is not an experience. Let's say if there's an ultimate truth, it would be that this whole thing is a dream. So we can't really find God because we are God. So it cannot be found, it cannot be experienced, because this is what this is right now. It's God dreaming.
So yes, I understand all what you're saying, but in the end of the day, you still live on earth. You know what I'm saying? So
yes, yeah.
Your dream, it's a dream, but it's your reality. You know what I'm saying? Because you are here and, you have family, you have children, or you don't, or whatever. So that's to come back to the beginning, of our conversation almost, is like, that's what I'm saying. All of that, those beliefs and all of that, they have to be integrated and live there on earth, because that's where we are. We are here on earth. We need to enjoy the earth, because if not, to say, oh, it's all a dream. I understand it, I do. But it's created, but so, okay, so create a different dream, a better dream.
We create a better dream, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And that's the goal, I think. That's the goal, because if not, it's too abstract. You can, for me, anyway, that's my belief. I might be completely wrong, but that's my belief. It's very nice. People live spirituality in the abstract. It's a dream. It's not really real. It's a projection and blah, blah, blah. Yes, it's probably right. I don't know. I understand. But, the thing is that we are here on earth, and we have 2 feet and 2 hands, and we have a rent to pay, and we feel pain, and that's what we're dealing with. And so, yes, if it's a dream, you can create a beautiful dream. Sometimes the dream is a nightmare, But so it's like, for me, that was the essence of my first book. Bring spirituality back on earth within, create a bridge between the two, and live your spirituality on earth. Like the exaltation that you may feel because you are meditating, and you probably have felt that what you said, I want that peace, and I'm meditating and I am in that state of perfect peace, and it's beautiful. Yes. Now that peace, let it be with you all the time on earth. When you are driving your car, when you're going to, it become part of you. That love that you feel, it has to become you. It's part of you. It's always with you. So that every moment becomes a meditation, because you are always connected to it. Always, and that's beautiful.
I guess once you realize that you're already free, then it's up to you what to do with that freedom. You can choose to do anything. It's like I have to go back to the dream. It's like you wake up in the middle of the dream and you know you're dreaming now. It doesn't mean that you control the dream, because, we can't control dreams either. So they will, things will happen, things will go wrong, will become a nightmare, as you said. It's what you choose to do it. You might just do nothing. Just kind of watch the whole thing happen. That's fine. and it's, right, just laugh, just laugh most of the time because it's not real anyway.
Yeah, but also remember that if we are on the idea that we are all energy and vibration, right? So if we go back to that idea, you have to think that once you live in that state, when you, as I say, you detach and all of that, and then the vibration that come out of you are lighter, right?
Yes,
are nicer.
Yes.
And then, so you're going to touch people just through that.
Yes, right.
And so just by one being that you work toward being his or her best self, okay, that one being can change a lot of people around that person. And then another person will change around the other person. And for me, again, and I might be wrong, but for me, that's the way that we're going to change the world.
Yes, but that is inevitable, though. Once you realize that, it's a law in itself, that once you realize the truth, it's almost like you hold this very sacred, open secret. As you said, it's freedom itself. So it's, you just kind of... being you, which is the true you, no matter what you do.
That's all there is. The true you today, tomorrow might be a different true you, because but you just go forwards.
It's just something in me has realized.
But that's beautiful. And you are sharing that beautiful energy every time you speak to somebody and you put it in your website or whatever, you do. That's you sharing yourself and expanding yourself and becoming more of Valeria. And that's beautiful.
Yeah, coming from that place, right, Jocelyn? So you and so many amazing people that I talk here. Oh my God, it's like, we are just kind of sharing that light. It's a felt understanding, like, oh yes. Although you keep saying that, not everybody's there yet to open up to that extent. In the book, you talk about control, that we have this, there's a lot about control that gets in the way of the spiritual journey too, trying to control things, ourselves even. You talk about that, I wrote here somewhere. But I want to go back, we're almost at the end. Guys, I will talk to you for centuries, for eternity for sure. Just stay here forever, just rest. In the book, you said exactly that, the beautiful message you said earlier about loving ourselves as God loves us. You say we are taught to love God, but the real challenge is to let God love us by loving ourselves.
Yes.
That just stopped me completely.
Yes, that's what it is. Exactly. But it's not so easy to do that.
No, no, not easy at all. No, it takes commitment, that longing. Sometimes I ask that question. I've been asked that question too, about why some of us are born like the way you have been born, seeking the truth with this longing to know, what's this all about? It's my case too. And some don't.
Well, I don't know for sure, but I think we're coming back to the vibration. And if we want to believe in reincarnation, I think, because we are taking it to a level where we already were before. So,
yes.
But, maybe life always, I believe, I don't know, but life will put you in circumstances that are going to force. So I think, it depends where you are in the journey and where you left it last time,
Yeah.
If you think about it, like when you have children that are geniuses, for me, it sounds obvious that they carry that from a past life, and so it's the same thing, I think, with our spirituality. I hope so, because I don't want to start over.
Yes, all over again. No, please.
I tell you
Yes.
If I need to come back, I hope I come back with everything I did this time around.
Yes, yeah. I noticed that you say a lot, I don't know, I'm not, but you do know.
Well, I know my truth. What I believe, I don't want to say that my truth is the truth, because that, honestly, I don't know. Nobody knows. What do we know? We don't know.
Well, the truth that you speak of, it is the truth for all of us who have been there, who have done the work. So you're talking to somebody who also knows, but we don't. Who knows? We say, who is here that knows? I have no idea who is here who knows that. There's just something here that knows, that's aware of itself. That's all I know.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
As love, as open space, timeless, limitless.
Yes.
That's all I know. I think no one can really touch it, because it's not something that cannot be experienced. Like I said earlier, I think that's the sad part of the spirituality per se, as a journey, as seekers, a lot of people who are seeking to find something. You cannot find what you already are. It's not possible. It's just uncovering what is not.
Okay, yes, it's a better word. You have to uncover it,
yes.
And then you have to feel it, and believe it and become it.
Yeah, I don't know about feeling it, because there's no...
Well, you have to, because we are on Earth, so we need to feel things. That's the way we are.
Yes, I feel the body, I feel the mind, and the thoughts, but I don't know.
You have to feel your spirit too. You have to sense it. If you are in meditation, you can feel that force. You have to let it become you. Let your spirit speak through your mouth, smell through your nose, see through your eyes,
Yes, see, I see that as a flavor. It's almost like, for example, when I be able to forgive somebody who does something that's injustice, in the face of injustice, I'm able to kind of forgive them and forget about it pretty quick. So that's when I know. But that's not really... It's an experience. It's a human experience, so I can't really call that consciousness. Consciousness cannot be experienced, because it's what the experiences are happening through. It's almost being revealed by. It's almost like trying to see the eyes. You have probably heard that, the eyes seeing the eyes. It is that what you said. In the book you say, divine love is the unifying love of humanhood that ends all sense of separation.
Yes.
So that's exactly it. Most of us feel separated since we were born. It was my case, completely separated, disconnected from my own self.
Yes, well, me too.
Right, and then we think that this is all there is to life, experiences. But then once you realize that you're not an experience, that's when everything changes. The experience of going to watch a sunset. And then we all, believe that the sun is going down. The sun is moving, disappearing. But the truth is, we are rotating. The earth is rotating. It's the opposite. That's a fact. Would that change? If the sun was going, it was really moving. The sun was the one moving. Would the experience be different? I don't think so. It would be the same. It would feel the same, right? Same thing. The sun is going down, I'm going down. It's all the same.
I don't know. Like in Mexico, there was a beach. You could see the sunset twice. You saw the sunset once, and then you run a little, run, and then
amazing.
You saw the sunset set again.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So...
Yes. You see, that's how perception, right? We believe in the things that we experience, but it doesn't mean it's the whole truth, the things we see. The idea was to go deeper, and to find out what's not changing. My curiosity and question was, what is here that has never changed? When I was really young, and when I was 5 years old, 10, 15, 20, it never changed. And that's when I know, there's something here that never changed. Never. That's what we call consciousness. That's what is, it's almost like silence but it's not really silent because it has all the noise of experience. It is everything that is happening, but in it. So it's like the analogy of the dream. You're dreaming, you think everything's real, but everything's just the mind. Everything's the mind. So we can say that everything that's happened is consciousness. It seems like you and me and the microphone and the trees and everything else. When in a dream, when we touch it, it feels real. We can have the sensations in the body, everything. But everything is experienced in consciousness. Even when we touch something.
It's a beautiful experience.
Yes, of course.
And we live it here, and I can't touch the computer. I see your picture.
Yeah.
I'm talking to you. And that's the experience within consciousness, maybe, but it's I feel real to you. You feel real to me right now, right?
In consciousness. But Jocelyn, it's very interesting. The deeper you go into it, you will find out, you see that, wait a minute, everything's happening in consciousness. There's no such a thing as a body. You see, I'm looking through the eyes, but I'm experiencing seeing through consciousness. I'm experiencing touching through consciousness. I'm experiencing the taste, everything, smell through consciousness, memory, everything is through consciousness, which means, so there's nothing really out here. Everything's in consciousness.
We are on the earth, okay, we have a body. It might be only energy, but it's a body. And we go to dinner and we have a beautiful meal and it tastes good, and you meet somebody and you love that person, and you have children and you have your dog and your house. And once you are out of the body, right? And you might be, I don't know, again, I say I don't know because I really don't, but you're dead, you're out of the body, and maybe you are in some sort of paradise, but you are a spirit. You cannot eat, you don't have a dog.
You don't have a dog? How do you know, Jocelyn, that you don't have a dog?
Well, I don't know, but I'm saying, like, it's all those things on earth. I think it's those sensations that are beautiful on earth. So we'll see, one day we're going to move on, you and me, and we're going to find out. And maybe we go to another earth even better than this one.
Yeah, and that's the fascinating thing that I remember asking somebody, so, okay, this is a dream. Do we ever stop dreaming? No, we continue to dream, because if there's no dream, then there's no experience, then there's nothing, basically. You're still aware, but you're aware of the absence of experience, which means darkness, silence. There's nothing there. There's nothing happening, so you cannot even have language to explain. You cannot describe because there's nothing to experience.
But, you're going to say, I say we don't know again, but really we don't. We don't. So all we know really is the experience we are having right now.
Yes, but when you get to know that this is happening in consciousness, that means we are deathless. We can never die. It's impossible to die.
Maybe not die, but
You may experience another body. You can experience other bodies, but you never die. You still go on.
No.
Forever.
But I mean, like when you live, you pass on. Let's say you die, for lack of a better word, you become your spirit. We can think of many scenarios of what it is, but the truth is we really don't know.
Yes, yeah, of course we can. I don't like the idea of, the psychics and you can do all that and see what...
I don't like that either.
Yeah, past life regression and people know how many lives they had and all that. I don't do those things and I have no interest in the past and the future. Even present, which I call it presence, like being here in this spaceless, timeless. I have no idea what this is, but in a sense of in the dream, I can locate myself in the dream because the body, of course, when we think about the body, it's just a location, but it's temporary location. But when I think about what we call spirit and soul and all that, it's always here. It never left. It's always here and will always be here, which means we always will be in touch with it. We'll be aware of that, always. And then it's interesting because when you talk about, we don't know about what will happen when we lose the body and all that. It's almost like dreaming again. And then you become aware of another dream. And then you'll never know about this one that you had before. Yeah. Oh my God, Jocelyn. I don't know.
I hope so.
Yes, yes, yes. And no need to hope, because that's, I have to say with confidence, that's what this experience reveals, that everything happens in consciousness, and consciousness is timeless, deathless. It's just here forever. It never goes anywhere. It never goes anywhere. You can't.
Yeah, that's why you have to try to work at reaching the best consciousness you can every time you are on Earth, because so we always come back to the same thing.
To that knowledge that we are aware of itself.
Knowledge,
right.
Awareness, and
Yes, awareness, exactly.
It's
agree.
always back to the same journey. You need to do your journey within.
Yes, right. Become aware of what is here that's permanent, that never changes.
Yes, because if not, it doesn't mean anything.
Yes. But the work that you have done, and so many have done, it's not lost, as we talked earlier. So it's a continuation anyway.
Yes, for sure.
It is amazing, right, Jocelyn, this experience, this, which we call life. It's very interesting. And I absolutely agree. It becomes even more interesting when you know that you are the impossible, that you're timeless, infinite. Because now you can play with the finite. You can just play with it. You can have more fun because, nice. This, I have no idea what this is. And when I look at my husband sometimes, I have no idea who he is. Like, this is talking. And it's almost like the unknown, the mystery, because it's another form of the same consciousness, appearing in a... It's just incredible. I have, the language is kind of sounds abstract, but it's very real to me in the sense of bringing more love and joy and peace. It's easier to forgive. It's easier to forget anything, injustice, all this stuff that happens. It's just so easy when we know that we are unlimited and timeless.
Yeah, and you bring it back to the moment, and in the end of the day, that's what's important. Why you are right here on Earth, as a human, is to be complete every moment, which, probably you are not, and I'm not either, but that the idea, and to feel just the simplicity of life in the end of the day, and the joy, and find the joy. I think we are here in the end to be happy.
Yes.
We made ourselves miserable through the years.
So true.
We are very good at that.
So true.
I think the Earth is meant for beauty and happiness and enjoyment, and we made we went completely the opposite way. But hopefully, step by step, we're coming back to the origin. I'm hoping, that's my dream. You know what I'm saying? Because there is no reason why we are, there is plenty of reason, because, human, we gave everything to the ego and all of that, and we created, that world that is not that great right now, but there is no reason why it cannot change. We have the power. We have the power, we have the knowledge, we have the love, we have everything, every human being. So we have that power to really create that better world and better self, But look, right now, everything is a bit, out of control, but maybe that's good too. Maybe sometimes things have to go out of control to put things back into order. So we'll see what's going to happen. We're going to see.
Right. Yeah. And you see, even in what you said is just so true. And you see, through suffering, that's when we realize deeper truth. Has been my case. So I would say so, that pain has a way, right, to show us the truth. It's incredible.
Yeah, I don't think we were sent to Earth to suffer. I think we created the suffering.
Yes.
But I agree with you, because I thought a lot, you said that you had a difficult childhood, and I had a horrible childhood. And, sometimes now I think that it's because my childhood was so horrific that I took that journey, so maybe it was a gift.
Yes.
Because maybe I would not have if everybody loved me and I was so happy, and maybe I'd stay in my little human happiness,
Right.
But the way things were for me, I was kind of forced into, I was not forced at all, but I was not going to accept things, the way they were. So sometimes we need to go down in order to, realize certain things and change, but I don't think that life wants us to suffer. I think it's a result of certain choice we made since I don't know when, since.
Yes, of ignorance. You actually mentioned that in the book too. That's ignorance in the sense, not in a pejorative way, but in the way of ignoring what is here, what is true, what is very clear, very obvious, but we are not able to see it. So I call that ignorance, not being able to see the truth, what's right here. So you said that in the book too. I made a note about it and I can't find right now because I made so many notes. Yeah, you talk about listening. We do not listen because subconsciously we know that if we were to listen, we would undoubtedly come to acquire knowledge. And we fear that with knowledge comes responsibility. Since many of us are not willing to assume responsibility, we prefer ignorance.
Yeah, I think so.
So true. Yeah, that would be the basis of suffering, I would say. That's the reason we suffer.
Yes.
So we're almost at the end. Gosh, that was like an incredible conversation to have. Thank you so much, Jocelyn, for being open to life. Yes, beautiful fun, spiritual fun. So I have the ending questions, but before that, would you like to add anything that you left unsaid or read a passage in your book?
Well, that thing I sent you, you want me to read that?
Yeah, that's beautiful. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So I read that.
Yeah.
And so bear with me.
Yes, sure. Yes, I'm here. Yes.
So that's a little extract from the book. So I say, we experience life through our belief and according to our individual consciousness. We see events through our own spectrum of vision, and conflicts derive from the fact that we each look at life through a different pair of eyes. No two of us recall the same event in the same manner. There are times when we argue to no end, claiming to be right, when in fact there is no right or wrong, but simply different awareness. We are one energy split in a multitude of expression, and the destiny of all human beings is linked. Our world of matter is in reality a world of energy and consciousness. Spiritual growth is the growth in consciousness. It is within consciousness that we truly change and evolve. We are a projection of our thoughts and feelings. We are a projection of our consciousness. We are a projection of the thoughts, emotions, and beliefs of others. We are a projection of their consciousness. However, we primarily are a projection of divine thought, a projection of divine consciousness. In which of these consciousness do we choose to exist? I used to look at myself and at life through the distorted vision and the distorted vision of others. My reality was harsh because I was caught in a web of deception, lost to myself and to others as well. From time to time, I got glances of a better world, a caring humanity, and a kinder and more self-assured version of myself. With time, I saw that these perfected versions were real in a consciousness untouched by human nature, one that existed past the confinement of my personality. I understood that to overcome limitation and enhance the condition of my life, I needed to capture the vision of my authentic self, the version of myself alive in divine consciousness. My spiritual quest had a very human ulterior motive. I did not want to tolerate life and opted for a vision of perfection that many call utopia. My search took me through many layers of consciousness, each one presenting me with a different reality of who I was. Slowly, I began to shed the inadequacies of my personality and transform myself and therefore my life into an ever closer image of my utopian vision. Ridding ourselves of the shadow that separates us from our perfection is an ever-evolving process that we must trust. We are not in control of the process. We only are in control of our choices.
There's so much wisdom there. We could have another hours about this alone again. What is not to love about, these insights and this wisdom, divine wisdom. Thank you so much,
Well,
Jocelyn.
thank you, Valeria. It was lovely speaking with you.
Yes, truly beautiful. I have deep appreciation for what you represent, although we had a lot of nuances. That's the dance, isn't it? Just I love the dance, just being open to life. Whatever you say, I'm like, oh, that's great. And then, oh, that doesn't sound. You see, that's what to me is harmony. To just have a conversation, even when we don't see exactly the same way, we still can dance around and have fun.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it would be no war. There would be no wars if all of us could live this way.
That's for sure.
So thank you so much for your beautiful presence, and we'll talk soon. But before we say goodbye for today, where's the best place to find more information about you and your books?
Well, I have a website. It's jranucci.com, where my book is there. And then my book is on Amazon. And that's about it. I am on Facebook and Instagram, but that's about it.
Yes. So I'll have the website link, and I also have the Amazon book link. They will be clickable on your podcast profile. Thank you so much again, Jocelyn.
Well, thank you, Valeria.
Yeah. Bye for now.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening. To learn more about Jocelyne Ranucci and her work, please visit jrenucci.com.
To learn more about this podcast, please visit fitforjoy.org/podcast. Thank you again for listening, and bye for now.